Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. I, as always, am Grestar, and this is another reaction to Death Battle, Sasuke vs. Hiei. So of course, make sure to click the link in the description below to go to the official release first, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, then come back here and we'll watch it together. So yes, Sasuke vs. Hiei, Naruto versus Yu Yu Hakusho. So I have never seen Yu Yu Hakusho, and I have only seen some of Naruto. So I actually watched all of the original Naruto, including, I think, all of the filler stuff. I say I think because recently a friend and I were actually talking about Naruto, and he brought up this episode with like a ninja ostrich, and I was like, dude, what the heck are you talking about? And he sent me a clip, and I did not recognize it at all, but I thought I'd seen all the fillers too. Because like I just wasn't the kind of person to like skip episodes, you know. And anyway, so all the original Naruto series, but granted that was back in 8th grade for me. And when was that? It was like what, 2007, not 8. It's early. I graduated high school 2012. I'll let you do the math on that. But point is, it was a long time ago. And then I watched up to, I think, about episode 50 of Shippuden. It was one of those cases. I had watched all of Naruto that there was at the time, and I was waiting for them to release a lot more so that I could binge watch it again, because that's how I'd been doing it, right? And then I just never started again. So that's all I've seen up to like 50-ish or so of Naruto Shippuden. But I know that, you know, Sasuke obviously became very, very powerful. Went off with Orochimaru and all that. He had all of this weird stuff going on. And obviously, being an Uchiha, he has his, like, Sharingan, and I don't know if he gets other... surely he gets other kinds of Sharingan, right? I couldn't tell you what there are. I think there's Mangekyo as one of them, or something like that, but that's all. I don't know what that does. I just know that with his Sharingan, he can, like, see someone do a technique. I think as long as he sees someone do a technique, he can then replicate it. Isn't that his thing, right? Right? I thought? Anyway, it's been a long time. I'm trying. I'm sorry. And again, I never seen any, I don't think, Yu Yu Hakusho. And so the issue I have right now is I have no idea how their worlds relate in terms of power, you know? Like, if you were to tell me, like, you know, again, Naruto versus Dragon Ball Z, I'd be like, oh, I have some vague idea of the power differences. Dragon Ball Z is more powerful. You know, like, just in general, right? They do crazier things. But I couldn't tell you that with Yu Yu Hakusho. I have no idea. And I have no idea who Hiei is. I didn't even know until seeing the image at the end of the last Death Battle that he had like a third eye thing. Because like I recognize that character. I even have like a picture of him in my memes folder basically that I can randomly send to people. But I have no idea. So we should really just get to watching. So with that, let's get to watching. And play. Okay, not actual gameplay, mind you. He's got a cloak. This boy got dragon scales. Well, he's got a katana and a big freaking gun. Is this their own like Death Battle card game? Yeah, Death Battle, the card and dice game. That's pretty cool. I actually didn't know that was a thing. I thought people, you know, with how often people yell at me to do reactions, I thought they would have yelled at me that there was a game. I guess not.
They're grim, nihilistic, and dreadfully ominous. Even when they fight on the side of good, they'll never crack a smile or share in the reward.
Oh, great. We're talking about edgelords, aren't we?
Sasuke, rival to Naruto Uzumaki and the solitary survivor of the Uchiha clan.
And Hiei, rival
Okay,
to
Hiei,
Yusuke
cool. I was saying it
Urameshi,
right.
And lonely orphan to demons.
Orphan to demons?
He's whizzing on boomstick.
Isn't like he's an
And
orphan
it's
who's
our
raised
job
by
to analyze
demons,
their
or
weapons,
demons
armor,
made him
and
an orphan
skills
by
to
killing
find
his
out who would
parents?
win a death
Maybe
battle.
both, who knows?
The Uchiha clan was renowned for their incredible ability in battle. Despite being one of the founding families of the Hidden Leaf village, Konoha, the Uchiha were outcast.
I actually didn't know they were one of the founding
For
families.
good reason. Their people had gotten pretty famous for attacking the village with the big nine-tailed fox. So, not a good look.
But everything changed
With
the head
it?
of the clan's
Like
firstborn
alongside it?
son, Itachi.
Or
He
they
was a brilliant boy and a promising
Anyway.
future for the family.
Even becoming the youngest kid to ever graduate.
But then he
ninja
was a
school.
dick.
I went there for a bit, but then I learned they didn't use guns, so, you know.
But Itachi opposed the clan's latest plot for a coup. His response was, well, pretty clear cut.
Wait, what?
I'll say he went and
That's why he
murdered
killed
all of
everyone?
Every last one, except for his kid brother, Sasuke. Naturally,
Wow.
Sasuke was pretty pissed off that his big bro killed his whole family, so he swore to become the bestest shinobi ever and hunt Itachi down.
He's as old as I
should've let him in on the
am.
plan
Oh
there,
my
Ichi.
gosh.
Just like his brother,
I feel like I've
Sasuke
accomplished so
soared
much
through
less.
his schooling with flying colors, quickly learning the 3 primary kinds of jutsu, or ninja techniques.
Ninjutsu, which is basically magic spells,
Yep.
Genjutsu, which messes with the mind, and Taijutsu, the one where you just punch people.
While Sasuke impressed with inhuman speed, swordsmanship, and physical ferocity, he's mastered several powerful ninjutsu techniques.
Like belching his classic fire breath, making up to 8 shadow clones of himself, and the Chidori, a ball of freaking lightning that has some shocking effects.
Plus many more. And
Yup.
along the path to revenge, he spent much
Formerly
of his time
possessed
perfecting
Orochimaru's
and
curse mark,
improving these
okay.
techniques, even mastering lightning release to the point of casting Kirin, an electric strike in the shape of a dragon.
Oh,
Divine Intervention 2.0.
Okay.
Fighting your foes is the way to go.
He can infuse his abilities with any of the 5 elements: fire, wind,
Really?
earth, water.
Heart!
No, lightning, obviously.
Oh.
As well as yin release, an element of creation itself.
So
Oh.
basically, don't make fun of Sasuke to his face, cause he'll kill the shit out of you before you even know what's happening. And we haven't even covered his best weapon yet.
Right, it turns out Itachi didn't only spare his brother because he loved him. He planned for Sasuke to witness this horror. He planned for Sasuke to swear revenge on him.
Oh.
Because this was the sort of trauma and hatred necessary to unlock an Uchiha's greatest weapon, the Sharingan.
The Sharingan eyes aren't
Oh.
some cool-looking lenses.
I thought they just got
give
those
Sasuke a bunch of
because
new
they're
abilities.
Uchiha.
He can see chakra, the energy within people that powers jutsu. He can copy an opponent's techniques, memorizing them after one
Cool.
look.
I remember that part then.
Mirror image of my own taijutsu.
He can even trap you in a bonkers genjutsu hallucination that makes you go crazy or just pass out. Like me on Saturday.
I
And
see.
that's just the standard version. By adding the trauma of loss to the mix, the Sharingan can evolve
Like a Pokemon!
into the Mangekyo Sharingan.
Did I
With
say
the
Mangekyo?
Sasuke can call
Was I
upon
right?
far greater
Or was I
powers.
close? I was at least
He can
close.
cast Amaterasu, an irrepressible black fire hot enough to burn the sun.
What,
Even better, Sasuke can summon the Susanoo,
Okay.
an enormous avatar of chakra that fights for and protects him.
Which is strong enough to slice through meteors.
Hmm.
Badass. Too bad Sharingan Part 2 has one big downside.
what?
Yes, it eventually causes the user to go blind.
Unless you find
Oh.
someone else with the same manky eyes, pluck those out of his head, then rip out your own eyes and replace them with the other guys.
Look, leave Kakashi
Gross.
out of this.
And so, Sasuke found and killed his older brother, avenging his family and swapping Mangekyo eyes. Which was, again, Itachi's plan all along. So,
Oh.
good job?
Who came up with this shit? Damn, we're not done with eyeball shenanigans though. He also got some Rinnegan circles, which gives him all sorts of weird context-sensitive powers. Like the, I'm not gonna say that word, he teleports by bending space and time.
Most
Oh.
notably, the Rinnegan grants Sasuke the powers of the 6 paths, like the Diva path for manipulating gravity, the Human path for ripping out souls, and the Preta path for draining energy.
Like a ninja
I see.
vampire.
Sasuke has used the Diva path in particular to extreme effect, once creating multiple planetoids which crashed in an explosion visible from outer space.
Wow.
By checking out the Earth's curve here, it's pretty obvious the blast is worth more than 35 teratons of TNT. That's 7 billion
Thanks,
times
Boomstick.
more powerful than the Tsar Bomb, the biggest nuke ever detonated.
And as mentioned before, Sasuke
I'm surprised
is known
Wiz
for
wasn't
his
impressed.
incredible speed, able to keep pace with the likes of fellow legends Naruto and Madara. In fact, Naruto once dodged an attack from Madara, which, according to the 4th databook, moves at the speed of light.
And
Ah.
Sasuke can fight Naruto to a draw. You know, the guy who's an alien descendant with a demon fox in his belly and also took a beam to the face that sliced the moon in half?
Alien
That's
descent?
a
What?
27 exaton blast right there.
With his quest
I don't remember
complete,
aliens.
Sasuke finally discovered Itachi's true goals. But even after making peace and having a child of his own, he never could return to the happy life of society.
You just can't shake off all that edginess.
Dang.
Instead, Sasuke chose to defend the Hidden Leaf from a distance, just like his brother before him.
Don't mess with Sasuke of the Sharingan.
Yeah, I didn't know that Itachi was a good
Anyone
guy.
who criticizes my way of life were to come forward, I'd turn around and kill every single one of their loved ones, so that they too could grasp what it's like to experience this hatred of mine.
Oh. I see you've learned nothing.
Standing less than 5 feet tall,
Hey,
this
short.
black-clad goth child may not seem so intimidating at first glance.
Yeah, I mean, paint a red stripe on him and he's just a human Shadow the Hedgehog.
But in reality, Hiei is a menacing warrior of demonic heritage, born to a forbidden love between an ice woman and a fire monster.
Of course.
Reminds me of me and my ex. Well, too bad the rest of the ice ladies got pissed that she had banged a literally hot dude. So when her son was born, they chucked the little bastard right off their floating island.
Oh.
Damn, ladies, I know you're jealous, but you don't gotta take it out on the kid. That's my stepfather's job.
And yet, the child survived. Raised by thieves and remembering every last moment of the catastrophe of his birth, Hiei swore
How?
revenge.
It was a
And having
demon thing, I
bandits
guess.
For foster parents means he got into stealing and murder at a wonderfully young age.
With his otherworldly physique, Hiei quickly became an expert in athletic ability and swordsmanship. These skills would grow even further after he joined forces with his rival, the spirit detective Yusuke.
But he needed more
Okay.
than blades and brawn to get back at the ice bitches. So he went to Shigure, the Doctor of Darkness, who
Oh,
would implant
Doctor
a
of
magical
Darkness.
third eye into his forehead. Because we still ain't done with these eyeball shenanigans, I guess.
This was the Jagan, literally translating to evil eye.
I see.
With the Jagan, Hiei wields numerous mystical powers. He can spy on people and objects from 10 kilometers away.
Okay.
He can read minds and protect his own from powerful mental attacks. He can move objects and energy with telekinesis.
And that's just the start of his powers. But with the Jagan stuck in his face, Hiei finally made the trip to Ice Town. But, wasn't quite what he expected.
Oh no.
Right, instead of slaughtering the demon women as he planned, he spared them. Because he realized that they lived meaningless, cold lives.
You get it, because they're ice people.
Yeah.
Is this pity? From a demon?
I mean, you might not want to invite this guy to your next backyard party, but he's not that bad of a guy. Case in point, he found out he's got a twin sister and set out on a
Oh.
new mission to find and protect her.
And with the Jagan Eye and his further abilities, he'd make one powerful bodyguard.
Yeah, by incinerating all your enemies! He can light his punches ablaze with his fist of the mortal flame, giving his foes a sick burn. But what's better than normal fire? Demon fire, of course!
Of course.
Dragon-shaped demon fire.
Okay.
This is the Dragon of the Darkness Flame, an overwhelming entity of fire and pain that can obliterate foes in an instant.
It just killed all those people. I feel a little bad, but they're demons, so... eh.
The dragon burns hotter than fire and is difficult to control. It can even turn on its wielder. Yet Hiei has recklessly forced himself to master the technique, with some, trial and error. Don't worry, he
course.
got better.
Okay.
Demon elemental resistance has certainly helped. He can power through most elemental attacks no problem, and is basically immune to fire and ice. And when he wants to get up close and personal, he can mold the darkness flame into a kick-ass sword.
He can even summon multiple dragons after assuming his ultimate form, the Giganshi.
Oh.
Yeah, you thought one extra eye was creepy?
Yeah, where'd he get all the
How
other
about a
evil
bunch
eyes?
of eyes all over, which to me just seems like a lot of weak points.
Well, it's not. The Giganshi form greatly increases all of Hiei's abilities, not just the Darkness Flame. And to add even more layers to this, Hiei can also absorb the Dragon of the Darkness Flame himself, further increasing his strength and speed.
All
Okay.
of which lets him keep kicking ass and taking names around the demon world. His buddy Yusuke was quick enough to dodge lightning, but was not fast enough to see all of Hiei's sword swings when he slashed up this ice guy, Siryu.
How many times did you cut him? Only 16. And here I could only keep track of 7 or 8.
Therefore, Hiei was clearly attacking at speeds far faster than lightning, around 300 times the speed of sound. And that was still very early in his journey when he was considered a C-class demon. As
Oh.
he ranked up, Hiei gained even more incredible speed.
His darkness sword could even cut and burn through Kuro Momotaro, who evolved to be totally immune to, cutting and burning.
What?
Figure that one out.
By the end of his adventures, Hiei was ranked S-class level, making him many times faster than before and equal in power to his rival Yusuke.
And that means he's
I don't know
super
who
powerful.
Yusuke is though.
Sensui, an S-Class human, claimed he had to limit his power, as a mere 50% of it could create a worldwide earthquake. Yusuke's mentor, Genkai, even believed Yusuke could obliterate the entire planet.
But conveniently, the demon world is a lot bigger and tougher than Earth, so this crazy
That is
power
convenient.
level is tricky to prove. Either way, Hiei's basically on a league of his own.
As shown by Sensui, a typical S-Class demon can defeat 3 A-Class ones with minimal effort.
But Hiei took on 500 all by himself.
I unleashed 500 A-Class demons.
Then you should know by now that when I say 500 A-Class demons, I mean 1,000.
Damn, dude, shouldn't they call you like Ultimate S+ class or something by now?
Well, he's
I don't
certainly
know.
comparable to Yusuke. When Yusuke fought the Demon King Yomi in the Demon World Tournament, the two of them hit each other so hard that this happened.
Holy shit, that's insane!
While this technically occurred on a tree in the hardier Demon World, yes, that's a tree,
Okay.
we can calculate the curvature of the planet as seen here. The treetop appears to be well above cloud level, and we can use the circumference and the distance to this girl to determine the explosion's overall size. With all this in mind, we concluded the blast must have been at least 4.5 million meters high, nearly 15 million feet.
From just a punch! Well, I guess 2 punches technically, but
Yeah.
Yusuke wasn't even in top form at the time, and he survived being in the middle of all that. Since Hiei can fight evenly with Yusuke and even move faster than him, I'd say they're definitely in the same ballpark of power level.
And just for kicks, Hiei can separate his spirit from his mortal body while still maintaining all of his abilities.
So, is he a demon?
How does that work?
Or a ghost?
Both, I guess. He can do this anytime he wants, unlike normal people who need to be killed or sometimes just knocked out.
Okay.
Ah, ghost!
Anyway, Hiei kept his word and soon found his sister in need of aid. Despite his terrible upbringing, he's actually found a supportive family among friends.
Except he never did tell her he was her brother.
Oh,
'Cause
well,
he's just too emo for that.
That's fair.
Still, few can match the dangerous power Hiei commands.
Once your own doom has been unraveled, I assure you there's no turning back.
This one's kind of tricky. I don't know.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all
I just feel like a lot of
But
Hiei
first,
stuff
let
was
me tell you how to
more
protect
reliant
yourself
on
from the
knowing the
ghost in
show.
machine with ExpressVPN.
Because like so many times it was like he
These
even
days,
went up
having a
against his rival
VPN is
Yusuke, and it's
essential,
like
and trust me,
great, that doesn't mean
ExpressVPN
anything to
is
me.
the best you can find.
What's a VPN? It's like having a virtual bodyguard for your internet.
VPN
Like honestly, I
stands
had no
for
idea
Virtual
Yu Yu
Private
Hakusho
Network
was
and protects
about
your privacy
demons
data
and
while
that
you're
kind of
browsing.
stuff.
It blocks
Like I knew
outside
it was your,
snooping, interference,
you know,
and
like
censorship.
a
And
combat
unlike most
based
other
anime, or
VPNs,
it contained a lot of
ExpressVPN
that
is
stuff. But I
perfect
didn't
for
know that it
gaming.
was
With shorter connection routes between
you know.
you and gaming servers,
Yeah.
ExpressVPN reduces
all demony
ping
and that
overall
high
lag.
powered.
And by masking
I
my
thought if
location,
anything, it
I've
was more like
downloaded
normal
games
martial
from other
artsy
countries
stuff.
with earlier launch dates, so I get to play
Very
all their
wrong.
sweet JRPGs early and make all my friends jealous.
You like JRPGs?
Who doesn't? ExpressVPN gives you faster speeds than other VPN providers. Server options across 94
I want this to
countries,
be over.
apps for every device you can imagine, and it's easy
I
to
don't
use.
blame you at
Connect
all
with
for
just
taking
one click.
sponsorships.
Take back your internet privacy
And I'm
today.
leaving
Find
it
out
up
how you can get 3
out of
months free by
respect
clicking the link in the
for them
description
and their
box, or
sponsorship
by
deals,
going
you
to
know?
expressvpn.com
Even if it's like
battle.
a year
That's
old at this point.
expressvpn.com
But still.
battle.
But right now,
It's time for a death battle and pause. All right. This is really hard. Like I said, it's hard to say because I do not know Yu Yu Hakusho like at all. I mean, granted, like I learned a lot from watching that, but a lot of it seemed to be you kind of had to know other stuff about the show in order to understand like how things related to each other. Like right now, I want to say that Sasuke will still win. I say still because I was thinking he was going to win at the beginning. Because like Hiei had a lot going for him, you know? And they mentioned like more feats as far as like, oh, he's an S-rank demon and he fought like 500 or maybe 1,000 A-rank demons. And they vaguely defined what like C-rank and S-rank demons were, or like what it took to be considered that. But you know, not super clearly, I didn't think. And Sasuke too, like, you know, he's taken on like hundreds of ninja on his own at the same time, right? Like it's the same kind of thing. And like I know that Sasuke with his Sharingan can like copy a technique after he's seen it once, but does that mean he could copy like Hiei's techniques? Or is it only he can copy techniques that he would actually have the capability of doing? And it's hard to say that he would have the capability of doing some of Hiei's techniques because they exist in different universes, like they're, you know, different shows entirely. And so it's like Naruto uses chakra and those kinds of abilities. What the crap does Yu Yu Hakusho use, you know, as a show? Like, so would Sasuke be able to copy Hiei's techniques? Because if so, then like absolutely he would win, right? Like he would have to if he's able to do the exact same stuff because he already seemed to be a little bit more powerful in my mind. Like, let's take, Hiei had the whole like black dragon flame or whatever, right? He had that and they're like, it's even hotter than fire. Great, well, Sasuke had a thing that was hotter than the sun. His fire could burn the sun. The sun, which is hotter than fire, in case you didn't know. Like, so, and like Sasuke just had so many different things. Like he had all these different things when you're just counting his original Sharingan. But then he has his Mangekyo Sharingan to work with, which hopefully again I'm remembering and pronouncing that correctly, where he could like steal energy and see where it's all flowing from and all of this other stuff. It just seems to me like Sasuke has more. You know? Like, I wonder... I think that Sasuke has more in terms of techniques or in terms of powerful techniques. The thing that I'm wondering about is, like, physical attributes as far as, like, speed, durability, and raw physical strength. Those are the things I'm not sure about. But with everything else seeming to be in Sasuke's favor, and I could be completely wrong, of course. It's so hard to read some of these. I'm going to go with Sasuke. So Sasuke's going to win this one and play. We'll find out soon enough.
Where are you going?
That's not your business.
Turn back.
Oh. Yeah, Hiei totally would have just killed someone. Like, Sasuke didn't show any kind of power, and Hiei went for a killing blow. Okay. I mean, Hiei has all that elemental resistance. But... he's not dead yet, Sasuke! Man, so far the animation's really in Sasuke's favor, though, which makes me concerned.
How interesting.
I missed that would let him see through illusions, but I wasn't really factoring that in anyway.
Pathetic fool. I'm the power fire dash incarnate. Dragon of the darkness blade!
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you can handle that, Sasuke.
Dragon?
I guess the dragon's doing pretty well. Oh, he went into his ultimate form! Lightning Dragon!
No match.
Oh no, he's hot!
I'll put you to rest now.
Can't believe this all started from Hiei trying to go into Konoha. Oof.
That's more like it. fight fit for a demon.
All right. Let's see how he does.
Wait,
Conclusion-wise.
really? I thought this was an easy win for Sasuke. What happened?
I didn't think it was an
Hold on,
easy
I
win for
promise there's a
Sasuke,
good
but I
explanation.
definitely thought it was a win.
This was an extremely close match. Sasuke was certainly faster than Hiei given his light speed reactions through scaling to Naruto. And technically he went through superior training, so there's certainly a few versions of this fight where he could use those advantages to take the win.
But we're always looking for who has the best chances to win most often.
Of course,
Not
of course.
just in very specific situations.
I got you. Yeah.
Exactly. At first glance, it's easy to assume Sasuke's enormous and varied arsenal could have simply overwhelmed Hiei. But to our surprise, Hiei had perfect counters for almost everything Sasuke could throw at
Really?
him. Being a fire and ice demon hybrid with elemental resistances, he's powered through electrical attacks like the Chidori before, and his fire immunity and oneness with the darkness flame turned the devastating
You didn't say it was fire
Amaterasu
immunity. You said it was
into a
near
mere
fire
annoyance.
immunity. And considering the
Sasuke's
Sasuke had a
Rinnegan
thing that was
gave him
hotter than the
gravity
sun,
control,
I figured.
And that Sharingan Genjutsu was pretty brutal.
I kinda thought the
But
near
Hiei's
immunity was a-
Dagon
was a
gave him
hint.
telekinesis and mental protections, putting the brakes on Sasuke's eye shenanigans. Even if Sasuke tried using human path on him to rip out his soul, it wouldn't have mattered, because Hiei could keep fighting as a ghost.
And frankly, it's unlikely Sasuke was that much faster. While Hiei could outpace Lightning at C-Class, the difference between Spirit classes is far greater than a simple 100 or 200% increase. After all, a lower S-Class could beat 3 A-Class fighters without much effort, and Hiei is an upper S-Class. But most surprisingly, Hiei's level of power surpassed Sasuke's.
No friggin' way.
Let's look at the Susanoo's meteor
No, I'm
feat.
curious,
By
yeah.
measuring the meteor's size compared to the Susanoo and applying sheer force, we determined this feat equaled about 364 teratons of TNT at most.
Okay.
In scientific terms, that's a hell of a lot. And obviously, scaling to Naruto means he could take a hit worth 27 exatons. How could Hiei top that?
Well, recall how there were multiple claims that S-Class demons could obliterate the Earth.
Okay.
Since most fights took place in the demon world, which is much hardier than the human one, these claims were difficult to prove and seemed a little dubious.
Until Yusuke fought Yomi and they made that gigantic explosion.
As we
Oh.
determined earlier, that blast was at least 4.5 million meters tall. At minimum, the kinetic energy of an explosion like this would equal about 285 zetatons of TNT.
Zetatons.
That's 21 zeros.
to say, I'm not familiar
Way
with
more
that.
than Sasuke's meteor feat. Even if we half it because there's 2 people doing the punching, that's still over 5,000 times greater than the Naruto moon slice.
It's probably even more impressive than that. If the tree is actually closer to the clouds and therefore closer to the planet, that technically changes the shot's perspective, which would mean the tree is actually even wider, the explosion even larger, and thus the kinetic energy even greater.
Interesting.
So when Genkai said an S-class demon like Yusuke or Hiei could wipe out a planet, she wasn't kidding around.
Correct. While Sasuke is equal to beings powerful enough to slice and shift moons, he still could not match Hiei's strength. Even if Hiei was only half as strong as Yusuke, this would still put him well above Sasuke in terms of sheer power output and durability.
So while Sasuke was still faster, he had a real tough time trying to land a fatal blow.
There were a
That's
lot of
fair.
factors in this fight, and Sasuke certainly clinched several advantages of his own. But in the end, Hiei's impeccable abilities, perfect counters, and clearly superior power took the victory.
Sasuke lost the edge and was a Sharin goner.
The winner is Hiei.
Claps for Hiei. Cool. Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode.
You're welcome. Ben, you're on the left this time. Last time you were on the right.
And if you just can't get enough Death Battle, make sure to click the link over there to keep watching.
It's not a link over there. Next time on Death Battle.
No man can challenge my power.
Ganondorf!
But what is a man?
Miserable little... Yeah, Dracula! Or is it... Okay, I was about to say, or is it Alucard? I don't know. Okay, cool. Alright, let's talk about this Death Battle then. So, Sasuke versus Hiei. I was wrong. Rip me. But that's okay. I did appreciate the conclusion. I liked hearing them talk a little bit more about the counters and, like, you know, elaborating more on the actual feats of power. It's so interesting to me when they... And I do use that in this case, this so interesting to be like, I kind of hate it, but like it makes sense. When, to an extent, in some cases it makes sense. Sometimes it doesn't make sense to me, and sometimes it does. They were saying like, well, we know that Hiei is super powerful because Yusuke did this thing. And like, that's where I'm like a little bit, okay. But like, if you watched my reaction to Dragon Zord versus Mechagodzilla, I had a bigger question because they were like, well, Rita destroyed an island, which means that Dragon Zord is capable of this because he killed one of Rita's creations. And unless I missed something, which I very well might have, that just made no sense to me. But in this case, if we're saying that Yusuke with his like full power punch did that thing, and then if we're saying that Yusuke and Hiei fought at their strongest, and Hiei was able to not only withstand those, like, the full-on punches from Yusuke, but also to, like, give the same power, fair, you know? Yeah, they said that, like, he went toe-to-toe with Yusuke and whatever, but what does that always mean, you know? It can vary. So, yeah, but even if I had confirmed for myself, like, okay, that feat that Yusuke did applies 100% to Hiei, I still don't think I would have applied it appropriately. I still think I probably would have gone for Sasuke. The more they talked about Hiei in his analysis portion, I was leaning more and more toward him. Like, I mean, I was still on Sasuke's side, obviously, because I voted for him in the end, but the longer Hiei's went on, I was like, oh, this is getting worse for my boy Sasuke. But that that was okay. Yeah, it was interesting. Again, I did think when it said, like, you know, he has near immunity to fire, I latched onto that near. Like, I kind of disregarded that because I was like, all right, well, Sasuke had something that was like, it burned even the sun, you know, like it was hotter than the sun, blah. And so I was like, near immunity to fire doesn't really matter then in that case, but I guess I misinterpreted that, or I don't know, I put the inappropriate value on that statement. So yeah, and as far as the animation is concerned too, I actually really liked the animation for this. I liked it better than Dragon Zord versus Mechagodzilla, which the reason I'm pointing that out is because I feel like I tend to enjoy the 3D animations more, but I thought that this one did a much better job at like introducing the characters and telling a story, and I liked the pacing of it better, even if like aesthetically speaking, I enjoyed the other one better, and like, you know, seeing Kiryu like jump over Dragon Zord's drill spear at one point, like that was probably the coolest part in that fight for me. That was really cool, but like I think overall I enjoyed this animation more. So yeah, overall I enjoyed this death battle, even though I was wrong. It's a bit of a bummer, but it happens sometimes. So yeah, let me know what you all thought about this death battle in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. Both of you sides, you tell me why the other one is incorrect, because I know that you are going to do that. Anyway, but with that, we are calling it here, so have a good one, everybody.